Yo, 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 what it is? Rudy McGTO in the house. All bet, all of the time. No one ever bluffs. Alright, let's get started.
Alright, guys, I'm trying this screen recording. Not even sure if the audio is going to work or not, but I decided to join the party and try out recording a session. Maybe I'll get lucky recording for you guys. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, I'm just playing. I don't know why I auto folded that. I mean, I don't mind folding, but I don't know why I had auto fold clicked.
This is cool. This will be my pool, I think, at least initially when I start. The
Like, I'm
100
down like
mil.
a buy-in or two. I don't know. Can't remember.
The hell? God, this software tilts me.
I hate the tagging system on here.
Fuck, I want my stars helper.
King 2 from the cutoff. I'll open sometimes and folds.
Yeah, I think King 2 is close. Like King 5 and up is would always be an open, and then King 4 down. It really just depends
Since
on
I'm going with the 3x RFI,
blinds. Yeah, an open size.
play a little bit tighter. I don't know, maybe that's bad. Maybe I should just open any suited king from
Meh.
cutoff.
Too easy.
Alright. Actually, I'm not always going to 3-bet this because the guy's short. Still never know. Should go a little bit smaller.
I think that's fine. Oh,
Okay, I mean,
oh
min clicks, I
fuck.
guess I gotta call. Try to flop a pair or a flush draw or something.
Fucking min clicks. Yeah, can't do much there.
Just fold. Shitty. King 6 off versus 2x. Probably just gonna call. Should I do that this time?
I think I would nearly almost always call in this spot. Versus that sizing blind versus blind. I mean, I don't hate the three bet. Three bet's perfectly fine, but I think I'm nearly always calling.
Looks like this should be a pure call.
Oh
Fucking then flop trips, so well,
yeah, this is the hand I read
just
Keith's
call
comments about.
1/3.
I don't hate 1/3, but I would probably just size up. I would probably bet bigger flop, and then I would bet turn a ton. Yeah, yeah. I would probably just size up a bit on the flop, and then bet a heap of turns. Yeah, just bet a ton. Yeah, no, I'm taking it out. I'm just recording a video. Yeah, nah, it's all right. It's all good. Yeah, sorry. Just talking to my wife. Yeah, so I'd probably. I don't hate your size. I think 1/3 is fine. It doesn't really matter. I tend to size up a little bit here, and then I tend to bet a lot of turns. I think this turn. Um, what would I do with most of my range? I think I'd still bet small a ton. So when we bet, particularly if you were to size up, but even when we bet small there, I think his range is going to be mostly pocket pairs and ace X hands. Like I don't really think they call too much like like Jack 10 and Queen Jack and things like that on this board. Not that much anyway. So I think most of his flop call range that will be pocket pairs and some ace-x. So therefore, on this particular turn, I would probably bet all ace-x, all good ace-x anyway. Maybe check back some, and then I would check back a lot of my pocket pairs. Hands like queen, queen, and jack, jack don't really need to be bet because I don't need that much protection, sorry, but I still think we can bet them. I think we can bet them for value, so I'd probably still bet those, and I don't mind exploitatively just betting small a ton here. Obviously,
Um,
with this hand, we're going to bet anyway.
I don't really know what size I'm supposed to bet on the turn. Uh, I guess since this guy's like I haven't tagged as a fish, I'm just gonna bet like 2/3 or whatever.
I don't
But
mind
maybe I
that.
should just be betting smaller. I'm not really sure.
I don't mind that. I would generally bet a little bit smaller, but that's fine.
I mean, not my favorite river, but I still think I have value bet. I don't think I can jam though. I'm just gonna ISO this guy and get it in. Queens, no heart. I guess it's fold. Okay. I don't even know the action here. I think I just hoping. Ugh, if this guy jams, it's gonna be brutal. Okay, I'm just gonna bet normal.
Yeah, and he jams here. I read the comments. This is fucking sick.
And here I ISO'd.
I'll look at these in a sec.
Just
This
gonna
is
fold.
so fucking
Oh,
sick.
oh. Guess I actually fold now.
Oh god, this is such a fuck spot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got nothing, bro. I have nothing for you here. What the fuck would I do? I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to get to the river with a bluff. Um, so I think we need him to be doing this with worse. So is he going to be doing this with Queen 6 or 6 7? I doubt it. There's a chance, but I doubt it. He will have some flushes. He'll have some boats. And I think that's pretty much all he's really check raising here. Oh, you're obviously going to have some ace-x. Although you're going to be checking back some ace-x as well. Yeah, I know Keith said he would fold, so I'm just conscious that I'm being influenced by his comments. But I think a fold would be good here because I just don't really see someone calling a triple barrel and check raising this with a bluff or any worse hand. I mean, what bluff would he have? Was he turning 7-8 into a bluff? Is he turning like 4-5 into a bluff? I doubt it. Um, he's not gonna have too much offsuit, too many offsuit hearts either. So I can't fault a call here
Oh
because
my
I would
god.
probably call in game. I think I'd find a way to
That's
call,
good. Unless he's got a boat.
but I can't see calling this
Oh.
being profitable.
I guess I'd rather call a six that has like a
Well,
heart.
being better than break even.
I could still have like ace X though. Wow. I could have flushes too.
Yeah, you've got flushes. I think good flushes you have to call. Yeah, that's sick.
I
That's sick.
don't know. That might just be a fold.
Um, let's have a look at these other hands. I saw queen queen. I saw ace six up here. That's a sick hand, man. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to provide
What
too much
size?
assistance.
I'm supposed to bet on the turn.
Okay, so I'm looking at table
Uh,
4, the queen queen, and I'm looking at
I
table
guess since
1,
this
ace
guy's
6.
like I haven't tagged as a fish, I'm just gonna bet like 2/3 or whatever. But maybe I should.
So with these flops, I tend to play my range in one of two ways. I either check range with the mono flops I'm talking about. I either check range or I bet range for 1/4. Just makes it very easy to do that, and I basically determine that on the texture of the board. If the flop would otherwise be a good flop for me, um, in my range, I would range bet. If it would otherwise be a shit flop, I would range check. So I honestly don't really mind either here. If I was going to bet, I would bet really small. I would bet like $1.50 max. and I would bet with range or I would check. This hand doesn't really want to bet, regardless, so I don't really know what your strategy is. And this guy looks like he's short stacked as well, so he's probably a fish. So I don't really mind just playing your hand in a vacuum. And this hand doesn't really want to bet, so I'm going to be happy with a check. But if you bet small as well, I think that's fine.
I should just be betting smaller. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so check is fine.
I mean, not my favorite river, but I still think I have.
So on this turn, I think GTO, if we are checking back a lot, we would actually call here, even though we have a lot of hearts. I think we are supposed to call here a fair bit of the time. But in saying that, I don't think they're going to bluff enough random shit. Like, any heart is obviously, we're obviously drawing dead to any heart, and he needs to be bluffing, straight draws with no heart and all that kind of shit. And I just don't see it. I think people play pretty face up on four flush boards, so I think it's a pretty easy fold.
Like that. I don't think I can
A6,
jam though.
and A6 you open and got called multi-way. Yeah, I would just be checking here.
I'm just gonna so this guy can get it in. Queens, no heart. Holy shit. I don't even know the action here. I think
Like
it's
ace nine of diamonds, yeah,
oh, this
maybe.
guy jams. It's gonna be brutal. Yeah, I'm just gonna bet like normal.
And King Jack, I think you ISO'd here against a really short stack. So again, it doesn't matter what you do. You can check. You don't need that much protection. And I'm not going to fold to an SPR of 1, and he could start blasting off. So I don't mind a check. But that being said, I don't mind a small bet either.
And here I ISO'd. Just gonna bet like fourth. Oh,
As long as you don't bet fold here, I don't think it
listen, I
matters.
should fold now. Oh my god.
And I think that's pretty close with A6 of diamonds. When he's betting almost pot,
Oh my
80%
god.
pot into four players.
Oh, that's good at least. Unless he's got a boat.
Easy jam with the King Jack.
Oh. I guess I'd rather call a six that has like a heart. I could still have like ace.
So once he checks here, I just don't think they're ever checking a boat. I mean, they might, and they probably should, because what are you calling with on their turn? So I think it's a fairly good idea to check boats, but I don't think they are. So I'd just throw everything out the window, and I would just bet big, because I think um, we always get called by an eight, and we always get called by a straight, and we always get called by a worse flush. I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying that that they probably will. So I'd just probably just bet on the bigger side.
Jacks though. Wow. Look at the flushes too. I don't know. That might just be a
I
fold.
like this. I like this. I would just bomb river.
I clicked the RNG. I got a 98. So you guys know.
Yeah, that's gross.
I guess my reasoning behind a call, even though I think he's super unbalanced there, is um, I think I'd value bet like probably even maybe ace jack's a little thin, but for sure ace queen and ace king on turn and river. They shouldn't be that scared of like a backdoor flush.
So I listened to some good old Nook Howard recently, where he talks about this thought process that you're going through about, where are you in your range and that type of stuff. And he basically just shat all over that and said, throw that out the window and just think about your range and how much more likely it is that they would be bluffing on the river. How protected is your range, and how likely is it, given your range and the strength that you've shown, that they are bluffing on the river. And that's what you should focus on, rather than where are you in your range. And as much as I fucking hate Nick Howard, I tend to agree with that. It makes much more sense, because even you said yourself, they're not going to be bluffing enough. So I think you just fold. Jack six, I like to check back on the flop, and I would check
Uh,
back again here.
guess I just check this.
Nice.
And then I'll probably go for value if he checks river.
Agreed.
So I'm gonna have all those ace X hands. I mean, I guess the question really is like,
So again, he's betting fairly big, and you have a jack, which sucks. Um, but it has checked down, and also the board pairing sucks as well. I think people again are just going to be exploitatively under bluffing here. That being said, I think we still should probably call with a six. We're just going to have a lot more shit here.
uh,
9x is obviously the nuts. 10x is super nuts.
um, is like ace king or ace queen with a heart better call than
Why is it doing that?
a six? It's kind of hard to know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Um,
I think the jack six is well played.
yeah, I don't know. I guess my logic was like just I'd have so many like I'd have some bluffs that are obviously gonna fold, and then I'd have some ace X that I guess I could fold. Not really sure. That's like also the nut six. Not that I think I really ever beat value. I don't think he's ever gonna raise like 6 7 there. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thought process.
I don't know. You guys can just fucking hammer me in that.
So this bet here doesn't really make that much sense. If you reverse the big blind, then yeah, go ahead and just bet this all day, and I think it would be okay. Against a small blind, it's a little bit different because their range. I mean, again, in micros and live, like the small blind range is almost the same as the big blind range, so it's still extremely wide, and which makes this better. But I'm guessing at 100 NL, I don't know how 100 NL ignition plays compared to Zoom in on stars, but very rarely is their range as wide as the big blind, and a typical small blind flat range is going to be very narrow, mid pocket pair heavy, some suited broadways and things like that. So given the fact that your range is going to be significantly wide, at least 25%, 30% or whatever, and his range is going to be extremely narrow, I think we should lean to checking here and checking back range. And even if we weren't, this hand has nothing going for it. We have an ace X, which sucks to bet. We don't have any backdoor equity. We don't have any flush draw blockers and things like that. So I actually hate this bet. Yeah, I don't like it at all. So just check. The nines we get 4 bet when we open under the gun, which is a shit spot, but this is a fairly standard call. Actually, you're 200 big blinds pre, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, even regardless, it's a very standard call.
Afterwards. Okay, pocket nines facing a 3 bet. I just have to call. Uh, and then seven, no suited, just fold. I mean, I have him tagged as, yeah, I think he's like and stuff. I think his call, king, queen, backdoor flush draw, I guess is close.
Yeah,
And then on turn, I don't really
yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Gross flop, good flop with the queen nine for you.
know. I
Let's see.
think we gotta, I think we gotta call one here. Like, I'm just gonna bet range, especially with the nine.
Why do you do these gay bets? No, just kidding. It's fine. I just wanted to say that. With the pocket nines on table two, I agree that we should regulate calling our pocket pairs with the diamond, and I agree that against say a more typical bet sizing or a standard bet sizing of 1/3, then we would definitely have to call, or at least we should be calling a lot with this combo. I think that's pretty standard. But versus a half size pot bet against a 3 bet range versus your under the gun open, I think it's much more dubious and much more marginal. And I actually think we could probably fold here. I mean, we're under the gun. We've called a 3 bet. We're still going to have a fairly strong range, but we're out of position. I don't really see any good things for us or good opportunities on later streets. I don't think it's going to be profitable, and I think we can just fold here versus this sizing. But I understand why you would call, and I think theoretically, yes, we should call sometimes here, but I don't think we should call 100%, particularly versus this sizing. So I would probably fold. With the Queen 9 hand on table 1, the flop bet is very obvious regardless of your strategy. I think we're supposed to play maybe a mixed strategy on these boards. I'm not too sure. I think we are, but in saying that, given the fact that villains are never going to check raise enough, then we should just push betting. We should just bet a ton. I'm pretty sure they're actually supposed to be check raising like 25% of the time or something like that. At least 20%, probably more. And with all types of combos that they're just not doing. So because of that fact, just bet them a lot more. So I really like your bet sizing, and I would bet range here. But as I said, regardless, your Queen 9 with the backdoor flush draw is just going to be a bet. So that's fine. You get called.
Diamonds. Call. Oh, this is really weird. Oh, this hand might have to bluff. I'm not sure. On this 10, I don't mind anything. I think nines has to be a bluff. The question is size. Um,
This Queen 9 with this turn, this is a fucking great turn for us. Um, I think this is a very, very obvious turn bet. He has no 10x. Like I don't really see any 10x that he has. So this is a sick card for us. His range is going to be a lot of pocket pairs, maybe some ace high floats and things like that. I would bet a ton here. I'd bet a ton on this turn. And size wise, I don't really think it matters. Any size is fine. Whether you want to bet, half pot, two thirds, or even an over bet size here. I think he is pretty capped when he doesn't raise your one third bet sizing on the flop. So I actually wouldn't mind an over bet either, but I don't think that's necessary. You just have a slam dunk bet. So whatever you do, bet. I don't care about the size. On the river, yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Is it a slam dunk bluff? I guess just considering where you are in your range and what worse hands do you have. But then what value do you have? So you have ace king, you probably have some sixes, you have ace king, you would have some queens. Um, but that's not that many. I guess you do have to. I guess you do have to bluff. The sizing wise, I just wouldn't go that big because you don't really have any Jack 10. You probably have Jack 10 of diamonds if you're not check raising that. If you're not check raising that on the flop. So yeah, I like it. I like the fact that you're going to bluff here, and I think your flop call is better considering you do recognize you need to bluff and will bluff. But I actually think
so let's
this
see. I'm
is
gonna have
closer.
flushes and then ace X, and then here I'm just gonna bet like two thirds again. Um,
Yeah, like this.
I guess I'm just gonna go for
I just
like
wouldn't
two
go too
thirds, just a
big.
normal size. I'm not really sure here.
Yeah, I think that's
All
fine.
right,
Maybe even
well,
smaller
I
is
have to
fine.
fold. Here I'm gonna squeeze. I'm not sure about sizing here.
Looks like you open pre
I don't think having like an overbet makes a ton of
or
sense.
limped. He
I mean, I
limped.
could have ace queen,
So I don't mind betting flop
check
here.
check. I'm just gonna bet twice.
Yeah,
Hope he calls.
that's fine.
Um, I'll probably just bet small with my whole range on this board, even though I think sometime like it might be better to have a big
Nice hand
size.
on table
I should
3.
probably I could probably bet a little bit bigger just so I could like jam the turn a little bit easier. But whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably bet around half pot and then, or I'd bet a sizing that allows a two-street game and jam turns. That said, one third is fine. Any bet size is fine as long as you're betting here, but I agree with you.
Depending on the turn, I might just jam anyway.
And we would be calling off a jam here. We're never folding.
Okay.
Yeah, limping there is
Yeah,
fine
I think
against the
just
limp.
jam here.
I don't hate a
Hopefully
three
it
bet,
doesn't
but
have
I
a
think we
set.
should be
Hopefully it's
limping
got
more
something stupid.
or completing more. Sorry. Yeah, too easy.
Yeah,
Wow.
aces. Get there.
Oh, good turn for you.
Okay.
Unlucky. Nothing you can do. Well played.
I'm actually gonna fold. No, like flush draw.
Yeah, see, this is close. I mean, because you limped in you completed in the small blind, sorry. What value do you have? You don't have any sets. You don't have ace queen. You probably have some queen nine. Um, the big blind is still left to act. He's probably in the same spot. But then, what are you hoping for? Just a blank ace or a blank nine. So I actually don't mind the fold there without any flush draw blockers or flush draws.
I don't know. I don't know how to play multi-way.
I think that's fine. Oh,
Well, not running too good, or I'm playing really bad. I'm not sure. But down two
nah,
stacks.
you're
Luckily,
fine.
this guy wasn't full stack. He opened, and I think this guy flatted. I squeezed, and he just called with aces.
Hang on
I
one
mean,
sec.
I don't know how to.
What?
My sister wants to go through Vale Street in Wilston with her today.
Where are we going down the coast?
Yeah, but it's at 1 o'clock. We could go there and then go down the coast.
What's Vale Street?
It's that one that we drove past ages ago and she goes, oh no, no. But now because no one sold, she thinks we can get it for a steal and it's in the best street in Wilston, remember?
It's up to you. Wait down a sec.
How long?
I don't know, 10 minutes.
Play with the caller.
Sorry, we're just looking for
Seems
houses to
bad.
buy today.
And then guess his flop thing is okay. I'm not totally sure what he's doing. I don't know. This might be too loose, but this guy sucks. So
I think it's borderline. I think it's very borderline. I don't mind it.
I wouldn't always open this.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I don't know if I should ever ISO it then.
No, I think you can. I think it is a little wide, and depending on the table, it's going to be too wide a fair bit of the time. But as long as you're not ISOing at 100% frequency, I think this is fine. And I would definitely mix it in at a low frequency depending on the table.
But okay, just give that one
Easy
third.
flop bet.
It's gonna be a
Easy
triple.
flop bet. Yeah, just bet with range there.
Weird. Pocket fours. So good. I'm gonna bet sometimes and check sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Try that again. Too close. Okay, this time I'm gonna bet. I think I just like the regular size.
I think the standard play on the turn is just to check a lot, particularly this combo, because what are you going to do? There's not that many rivers you're going to be happy betting. So I think standard is to check, but honestly, I don't hate this. Um, I know I read some of the comments. I think it was this hand where the guys just didn't really like it and thought it was a very clear check back, and I'm not as clear on that. I actually think this is okay. I would check back mostly, but I can get on board with the bet here. So this is fine. You have a very easy fold once they raise.
It'd be nice to have like a heart blocker, like ace king or ace queen with a heart.
Yeah,
Question is, they still triple
you
this.
definitely have better hands to barrel.
And here, small. Yeah, I'm gonna bet small.
I would
And I think
I would bet on the larger side here. I would probably bet around half pot on the top right,
yeah, I think on that
as long as
turn,
you bet.
like now I'll have some king queen and post that. Like I think 5-6 is just fold. Okay. Here I'm just gonna bet small. Queen jack I'm mostly gonna call, but
Yeah, I much prefer a larger bet on this flop texture. Um, but in saying that I don't think the smaller one is a mistake. Bottom right with Queen Jack, blind versus blind. I actually think all options are on the table. I know the Pio Edge Sims here would four bet this a small percent and then basically call. However, exploitatively, I don't mind a nitty fold here just because I don't think they're three betting enough. When you look at the GTO Sims, the big blind is three betting about 18% here. And a lot of combos that people aren't. I mean, 18% is quite wide, and you just don't see that many people doing it, particularly at these stakes, I'm guessing. So, for that reason, I think Queen Jack just drops a fair bit, so we could make a exploitative fold, and that would be okay. Or again, I don't mind a small percent four bet either, but I think calling is also standard.
every once in a while,
So either
some
option
four
is
bet.
fine.
Call.
Against a slightly bigger size
And
and
check fold.
for
What happened
I
here?
would
This guy
probably
checked.
fold.
I don't remember.
Don't tell anyone.
Mostly gonna barrel.
Easy barrel. This hand is a snap bet.
I think I don't know. Maybe if I had like jacks with a diamond or something like that, I mix in a check. But he's just gonna have so many like pair plus straight draws. So I think I'm just gonna keep betting.
Nice and nice.
And if I got that two river, I think I gotta go for the overbet. I don't know if all in makes sense, but that sounds. I don't know. I'm not totally sure.
Done. Okay, mate. That was well played. I actually thought you played fine. That King 6 hand was fucking sick, and I'm sorry I can't provide any more help or assistance with that hand, but I thought you played really well. Well done.